Hello everyone, I'm Diane. Life is full of people who disappoint you. How do you get through something like that? Well, it depends on what it is. My children have disappointed me in various ways at times in their lives. I think all children do that. Maybe you're lucky and have a child who was perfect and never disappointed you. But I would say few of us have a child like that. Although my 4 children are honest, good citizens, they all work hard. I'm very proud of all of them. Now, when they disappointed me, I forgave them because I love them unconditionally. Unconditionally. Overdone, forgiven, forgotten. Now, your mate, on the other hand, is a different story. I would think most of us, according to statistics, most of us have a divorce in our history. My first husband was a cheater. He cheated all the time. And there is nothing like the pain. Now, I didn't know this when I married him. I don't think I did. Actually, he cheated on me in high school. But, you know, when you're young, you're so stupid. Just stupid. But anyway, as I was finding out that he was cheating on me, it was devastating to me to think about him touching someone else, kissing someone else. Just the fact that he could do that was unbelievable to me, because I could have never done that to him. Now later, we were school teachers, and then he went to law school at night. And as soon as he passed the bar, he was gone. I think he had already fell in love with a 19-year-old. We were 27. He was gone. He just left. Bye. No support. Nothing. I had 2 children by him. Okay, that's devastating. And like I said, I think most people go through that. That's kind of life. And in some respects, it is expected, maybe, for things like that to happen. So I got through that. Got over it. Got remarried to someone that everybody loved. Everybody thought he was great. He had lots of friends. I thought he might be a winner. I went to school with him. We graduated together. I've known him all of my life, which was another plus. Well, he was not truthful with me. He borrowed money on a regular basis. I do not know why. I never found out why, or what he did with it, or why he was like that. But it was just one devastation after the other. And to tell you the truth, this kind of devastation, if you've ever been bogged down with bills and debt, it was more devastating to me than the cheating. So I left that marriage. I had to. He was a threat to my children's life and livelihood, and my own. We just could not keep sustaining the level of insecurity that he was emitting. I couldn't do it. I had to leave. Now, I have to say, after I left and was on my own, by the way, I was done with men at age 50. Done. He helped me, and through all of my trials and tribulations, he did. And I don't know, maybe it's because he's a good person, basically a good person, but I think maybe he felt guilty about some things. He did apologize later for all that he put me and my children through financially, and I forgave him. But that's another thing that's just kind of expected. Husbands and wives are going to disappoint each other all along the way. And you have to decide if you're going to forgive them and keep living with them beside all that they've done, or whether you had rather be alone. I chose to be alone. Okay. I forgave him. It's over, forgotten, and I don't dwell on it. Now, there are other things, other people in my life who shocked the crap out of me. Shocked me. Things that you're not expecting people to do. After my first divorce, I was in the area. I don't know why, and I didn't have my children with me, and I thought, I'm going to stop and see my ex-mother-in-law, who I loved. I loved her. I wanted to just stop and see how she was doing, because I never got to see her anymore, obviously. And she very seldom got to see the children, if at all. So I stopped to see her. Went inside. She was not there. Her husband was there, which was my father-in-law. It was actually my husband's stepfather. But they had been together, I don't know, 25 years, something like that. But to me, he was my father-in-law. I loved him. I'd been around him for years, forever. And then as I got up to leave, he walked toward me. And he started telling me that he loved me. If I had just been a little older and he was a little younger, we could have been together. And when he's talking, his hands go up under my shirt. I don't have to go any further. Now, I feel like it's an out-of-the-body experience. I just cannot believe he is touching me like that. I can't believe it. My father-in-law, who I loved. So I don't even remember saying anything. I just remember turning and walking out the door and getting in my car and leaving. I never went back. Now that was a shocker to me, that he would do that to me. Okay, here's another shocker. And I'm sure you people have had the same type of experience. Male and female have been inappropriately groped. Well, I and my aunt were both pregnant at the same time. I with my first child, she with her second. Well, when this little girl, I'm going to say Shannon, was born, she was still, she brought her home from the hospital, and she developed pneumonia as a new infant. So she took her back to the hospital, and we used hospitals and doctors in Birmingham, and the doctors were talking among themselves, and she was in bad shape, really bad shape. And one doctor said, the only doctor that I know that can save her Now, this was a shocker to those listening. They didn't know she was possibly going to die. The only doctor that could possibly save her would be Dr. K. I'll call him Dr. K. So they called Dr. K, and he absolutely saved her. He saved her. Oh my gosh. He was a children's doctor. Well, my aunt, of course, started using him with her children, and my son was born. I, of course, started using him. I had another daughter. I used him. Years later, when I remarried and had another son, I used him. I mean, he was like wonderful. You would go in and have a sick child, and he would prescribe medicine. He would tell you what they were going to do at the office. He would tell you what time the fever would break. He would tell you how the child would feel the next day. He didn't say if they're still sick, come back. He knew that whatever he said was going to work. He was a great doctor. He was a very little man. He was from Turkey. He was brilliant. He was brilliant. So I am in with my third child, my son. He is just there for a checkup. My dogs are barking at something. They probably saw a squirrel. Anyway, so I'm there with my son. So the nurse comes in, gets my son, and leaves because my son has to have an injection. So they never make the mother go through that. So I was just standing there talking to the doctor, and he walked up to me, and he put his hands on my chest and started giggling, saying, "Oh, Miss Lee, you do not wear a bra." And I'm going, what is happening? I was completely blown away. Blown away. This man who had saved my cousin. I mean, I was blown away. I think he had to have done that to someone else if he did it to me. Now, I was of the hippie era. I very seldom wore a bra. My daddy would say, "You need to wear a bra." I go, "Daddy, I hate them. I hate them." So, I didn't wear them. I have on one now, but I didn't wear them when I was young. I'm sorry, I just didn't. Did I bring that on myself? No. I mean, I can't be blamed for what that man did. Anyway, years later, he, his wife, and his grandchildren, I think they were going to visit Turkey, and the plane crashed and they were all killed. And I hated that, but still, I mean, when someone like that kind of blows your mind, you go, who can I trust in this world? I mean, who can you really trust? Who can you really know? I mean, do you think his wife knew he did stuff like that? Probably not. Anyway, I don't know why I thought about that today, but I do a lot of thinking. I live by myself. I do a lot of thinking. And I'm just wanted to share that with you. And I hope nothing like that has happened to you, because it's mind-blowing. By the way, I did have to go back like in 2 months. My son was really, really sick, and we had not gotten another doctor. But my husband went with me. He went in the room with me, and he was a little nervous because I know he knew that I had told my husband what he had done, because my husband was with me. And my husband was like 6'1", big guy, good-looking guy. He was a little wimp, He was brilliant, but he was a wimp. Anyway, I'm going to let you go and quit talking about this. But I will see you next time. And love is coming your way from me.